In this week's video, we are finally, after 3 years, starting the newest restoration project, and it's time to choose the paint colors. I quite like that. Luke goes on an exciting adventure around the estate on his brand new bike, and he definitely should have worn his wellies.
Come on. Let's make it through. Let's do it. Oh, dear.
Back at the house, Raymond and Luke are looking at the drains for the new bathroom, but I'm not sure we've connected the right pipe.
We've got to obviously come out of the bathroom up there, and we were going to come out along into this big, deep Manor.
I did a video 3 years ago about the plans for the chapel room, which is the name of this bedroom. It's ensuite bathroom. So again, right now it's storage. So there's just storage stuff in here, but this could be a fantastic ensuite bathroom. And we actually have the plans for this bathroom. So we do have a plan to put in a bath here. We have the plan for all the piping, to put in obviously the loo. So we didn't do it, but we are doing it now. Welcome to our latest restoration project, which is here in the chapel room and making an ensuite bathroom. And I just want to say a huge thank you to our Mapperton Live patrons. The reason that we are able to do this project 3 years later is because of the generous support from our patrons. And that is why we're able to do it today. So thank you to all of our amazing patrons. 100% of the generous support that we receive from our patrons go directly into projects like this one here, the bathroom, the ensuite bathroom that we're making. And it's a big thing to make an ensuite bathroom in these historic houses. You know, when they were first originally built, you would have just one bathroom for all of the bedrooms. That's it. So this is our lovely cast iron tub, which is about to be put in there. And it was a real sweat getting this up into this room. So I did some fun time-lapsing of that, but that is that bathroom there. And then we've found in our sort of collection of goodies through centuries of bits here at Mapperton, I mean, I need to rehang bits of this. I'm going to clean it. And this is going to be the lovely chandelier in our very grand bathroom, which I hear some painting going on. So I think Malcolm, interior designer extraordinaire, is here. Okay, so we're deciding paint colors, everybody.
Yeah, so this is the first one. Because the thing that we have to bear in mind is that this room comes on from the chapel bedroom, which we're not decorating at this point.
Right.
So we need to use something that works with that space.
Yes.
So this is our first choice.
This is our first choice. Okay, it's a bit bluey.
Yeah.
I think it
Okay.
a bit bluey.
Next color. Ooh.
Ooh. I quite like that.
We have these lino tiles.
Yes. I love the checkerboard effect.
Is that?
Definitely. This is my
Okay.
favorite.
Well, I have a third choice.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, that's quite soft and gentle.
Yes, it is. Oh. It's pretty. So for me, it's between these two. I don't know now.
My choice.
My choice is that.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Okay,
There we
it's
go.
agreed, everybody.
That's our paint colour.
What would you describe this color, Malcolm? You know, I'm very bad at sort of descriptive words apart from...
Well, it's a very pale aqua. It's not quite blue and it's not quite green.
No.
It's sort of somewhere in between.
I really like it. And it's got a bit of gray
And
in
it's
there
grey
as well.
too, exactly.
Yeah.
So, which I think picks up really nicely with the tiles.
And then what are we doing on the ceiling above?
So what we'll do is we'll take the cornice in with this colour.
All the way.
All the way.
Yeah.
Include the cornice because it's all part of the moulding. And then the ceiling we'll just do.
Right, so do we need to patch those ones
so
up?
those holes will get filled.
Okay,
so
great.
That's that. So what we've got to do here is, because we need to maintain some privacy, can you see these little brackets?
Yeah. Yes.
So at some point there would have been a sheer blind that hung from there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to reuse those little brackets, get a brass rod to go through, and then to hang a sheer. This is the sort of thing that we're looking at. I think that's a bit too sharp a colour, so I would go for this ivory colour here, which I think will look good against the stonework.
Oh yeah.
And then
it's lovely.
And
then against
colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see that?
And with that looks great.
Yeah, well, it's quite sharp and smart, isn't it? And then,
okay, fantastic.
what we're going to do is you see where these curtain rods are?
Yes.
What we're going to do is, rather than having curtains that pull, is to do a Roman blind which will drop. Okay. So it's just a much sleeker look and not sort of over fabric.
Right. So and overcomplicated, I think.
So then for that, what I would suggest is something like this. I quite like the sort of the texture of this fabric. It's sort of like a linen. See, I think that's really quite gentle. And again, sort of just, it's that whole sort of soft grey look,
I love
with
it.
a bit of colour. So, there we go.
That's it. Well, I'm going to have to get, that is my bathroom, I'm going to have to get that paint ordered, and I'm going to have to get my red boiler suit on. This is not my red boiler suit, just in case you thought it was.
It's your red jumpsuit.
It's my red jumpsuit. But I am going to swap this for my red boiler suit, and I'm going to start painting everybody. So, wow, next episode.
Rubber gloves on.
Today, I thought I would take you on a tour of the estate. So I'm going to head off and do a cycle around Mapperton. I'm going to go to lots of special places, but I'm not doing it on a traditional bike. I'm doing it on this fantastic Himaway Zebra electric bike. And Himaway are our sponsor for this video, so thank you so much to them for providing my mode of transport. And what a machine it is. This bike, as you can see, has got, well, it's large. I think that's the first thing to say about it. It's going to be a little bit like driving something that is closer to a motorbike than a cycle, which for me is quite a good thing, because I like the comfort of having something larger, sturdier, and you can see with the size of these tyres, it's, well, A, it's going to give lots of really good shock absorption, so I'll have a comfortable ride, but it's also going to really hold and grip the road, and not just the road, but also the rides and the tracks. This bike has apparently an 80-mile range. That means I could, get halfway to London from here, which is fantastic. It can carry 400 pounds, so that's me plus Nesta sitting on the back, except he's not here today. I'm not sure Julie would want to do that either. It goes up to 25 miles an hour. So it's a fabulous machine, and it's going to get me around Mapperton in no time. Right, I shall get on my helmet, I shall clamber on board, and we will be back probably in a couple of hours. This is a hill I never look forward to on a normal bike, but I suspect on the Himaway it's going to be plain sailing. Yeah, look at this. This is one of the greatest views on the estate, looking across at Coltley, the rewilding project, around to Hook Park. Below us we have Holeacre Farm, Holeacre Wood, and in the distance you can see the sea. Isn't it magnificent? And there we have Homewood over to the right, and some rather well-fed looking cattle below us. Now this is the site of our glamping field. So this is where we put tents up in the summer. We didn't do it this summer as it was so miserable, but also we're applying for planning permission, which is going to take a while. Now I don't know if you can see, but in the middle of the picture here is the Mapperton Iron Age fort. Well, it's just to the right of your picture. I'll try and zoom in. And you can see that beyond that is the coast. It's an extraordinary piece of countryside. This really is a good all-terrain bike. It's having no problems with all the stones and the bumps and the lumps. Coming down Coltley Lane. Ah, the gates are open. That means I can head up into the field. Look at this. Just gets you up with no problem at all. This is Birch Hill. Now there's a pond at the bottom here, but it's rather overgrown. So I don't know that we'll see anything. And wonderfully, I can see another open gate, which is tremendous news for me. This is where Julie and I once had a picnic, you may remember.
Here, I can save you.
I got one coming. I got it out, I got it out.
You get it out?
I got it out, no, but the other one's now
Here.
gone in.
I was trying to hold on to this.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay. It's looking increasingly covered in algae, and it really needs to have some more felling of these trees around. Here we go. Ah, that rather got me. Right, we are now coming into the corner of the estate known as Manor, where there used to be a village. We featured the village in one of our previous episodes, but if I head down here, just down at the bottom of this valley are some ruined cottages. You can't quite see them because the trees have grown all around them. But this is where there used to be a village. And the reason it was called Mythe is because Mythe means the confluence, the joining of two streams. And just out the bottom here, we have two streams joining. And there was actually a water wheel and a mill. My goodness, am I going to make it through this? Not sure that I am. Oh dear. And I don't have boots on. And I don't know that I can turn the bike easily. So maybe we just give it a go. And we keep going, see what happens. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's make it through, let's do it. Oh dear, that wasn't very successful. But all is well. We shall turn around here. Come on, come on, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Yeah, we're getting there. It's a little bit like motocross, muddy motocross, but the bike is getting there. Hooray, we are through. Here's some people having a lovely Mapperton walk. Below the gardens, up to the right, you can see the spring garden. Up to the left, we have Homewood. And we're going along a track that I put in about 8 years ago. It's now covered in grass, which is exactly right, but underneath here is stone. So it's hard and it doesn't get too muddy. And we are coming up to Keeper's Cottage. Secret Keeper's Cottage, because you couldn't possibly tell that it's here, hidden behind this large holly tree. And here it is, so nearly ready, but not quite. And here we are back, safe and sound. So that was an amazing adventure. I really enjoyed that ride across the estate. But the things that have really impressed me are, first of all, just how well the bike coped with the terrain. I mean, these fat tyres give it a really comfortable ride, but they also grip. And, you know, I managed to get through some quite serious mud, or at least I mostly got through it. So really impressed with that. Also, just very comfortable. And I was worried to start with that the weight of the bike would get in the way, but in fact the weight is what adds to the stability and the comfort, and you really feel solid, you feel safe. This is the sort of terrain that it works well on, and if you're interested in getting one, there's a link down below in the description. I also feel like I've had some good exercise because it's not all powered, you are actually pedaling. But anyway, it makes me feel like I want to go round again. But I tell you what, I'm going to wake up Nestor and see if he wants to kind of hop on the back and come round with me later on today. I'm here with Raymond and we're going to be looking at drainage, where the drains run to, where the foul water runs to, coming out of the house, and then heading off down into underground caverns and pipes. But Raymond, this starts off with a bit of a problem, doesn't it? We've got this bathroom that we're putting in, and unfortunately, where the drainage was coming out, we decided that we were going to put it into one part of this underground chamber, and it should have gone into another. Raymond, explain to us.
That's right. Well, we've got to obviously come out of the bathroom up there, and we were going to come along into this big deep manor, which we'll show you in a minute. But we decided that it actually separates inside. It's a Victorian thing where you sort of drop the foul waste alongside the rainwater, and they never mix. It's quite a clever thing. So we found that another manhole in the back there that we've got a spare gully in it. We're going to connect up that, and so we're going to dig a little trench around there underneath the garden and up around and just connect it up where that blue bag is there.
So the original pipe was going to come down straight into the chamber here, and this is the extraordinary thing that you were talking about. The Victorians, who were these amazing engineers, came up with this very clever system for splitting out what you might call the solid waste from the rainwater. Raymond, I quite want to go down there with the camera and with Chris. What do you think?
No, I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Luke, because
why not?
well, because you are going into a confined space below the surface, and you've got to have special equipment, breathing apparatus and things to do that.
Right.
Because you could pick up all kinds of things. If you look down there, you see that's quite deep.
Wow, look at that. That is absolutely astonishing. Because we think of this house going up quite high. What you don't realise is quite how far down it goes.
Yeah, because that, like I say, that goes underneath the cellar floor.
Right under the house. Yeah. So they must, because obviously the house is much older than the drain system. So they must have dug under the house at some point.
Because this is relatively modern. This is sort of, I think the map shows 1907.
Right.
And it's still, because these are rainwater ones, this one.
So we've got these different pipes here, which is rainwater coming in on this side.
Yeah.
And then in the far corner over there,
that is soil.
You've got a separate chamber.
Yeah.
And that's where all of the lavatories and the bars and everything are running off into that.
Yeah.
And it's got this little sort of separate chamber, which is so clever. And Raymond, there's a ladder here for me for me.
No,
it's not happening,
I'm afraid, Luke, you can't go down there.
He's not going to let me go.
No, you can't. It'll be...
What's the risk then? That I'll get overwhelmed by noxious fumes and gases,
which you won't smell.
Which I won't smell. They'll just take me out quietly.
And then suddenly, the cameraman and myself will have to try and get you out.
Well, Chris is pretty nimble. Rainbow, do you remember the last time I went into a chamber?
Yeah, I do. You better get up, I think, Luke. Got it in?
Oh dear, it's going to go. At the moment I let go of this, and I cannot get it.
Steve just said it might blow off.
You did?
Yeah.
Have you got any sort of hammer or mallet or something?
Bit of iron.
So we haven't got a great track record with Luke heading into underground chambers, have we?
But luckily that was clean, drinkable water, potable water.
Whereas this certainly isn't. So what we're saying though is that we've got to connect this new soil pipe, waste pipe from the new bathroom to that long one going down. And there's a manhole with a connection over there.
That's right.
Instead of the pipe coming straight through here. Yeah. So that was the mistake. That's where we got it wrong, and we've got to redo the pipe work. It raises an interesting point, this though, which is that I had always heard that Mapperton was built on bedrock, that it was actually really quite hard to dig down into the soil here because of the high level of rock supporting the house. This actually suggests you can get really quite far. Now, I would think that is a good 15 feet, isn't it, down there?
Yeah, it is.
Of course, we do have a graveyard for the church here, where as far as I know, only Mrs. Labouchere, who owned the house in the 1920s to the 1950s, is buried. Yeah. My understanding is that she's the only one because it was so hard to dig into the rock. There we go. Right. Feeling a little unsteady.
Well, he's all right.
He's all right. Now, Raymond, we have got a map here of all the drains for the main house. Yeah. And this is dated 1907.
Yeah, 1907.
It's extraordinary. So we can see that we've got the main house over here.
Yeah.
And then the chamber that we were looking at is right there.
That's right.
And those are the pipes running across.
Yeah.
And into another chamber.
Yeah, that's an even slightly deeper one.
And then slightly worryingly, there's a pipe that comes out of that chamber and goes straight down
towards the swimming
into the swimming pool.
Yeah, but down somewhere here, which is, if we looked out the window, they're almost directly opposite us. Someone who used to work here years ago said there was a chamber there, a collecting chamber, which we've never ever found. People have never ever found. And we think that chamber was overflow, then it overflowed into the swimming pool.
How long do you think this is going to continue sitting here, Raymond? Another couple of 100 years?
Well, I hope Nestor and William will look at it in a few years' time and say, or William and then Nestor, look after it and say, well, that's where Dad said the drains were, and that was it.
It's got a bit damp, hasn't it? It always needs a little bit of restoration.
Yeah.
But we'll have to leave that for another day.